Listen to me for a second. Have you ever woken up, looked at yourself in the mirror, and felt that deep, nagging sense of dissatisfaction? It's like you know you're capable of more, but something always seems to hold you back. Maybe it's that inner critic that whispers, "You're not good enough." Or perhaps it's the weight of the world's expectations, leaving you overwhelmed before you even begin your day. Sound familiar? We've all been there, haven't we? We've all experienced those days where we feel stuck, like we're not making any progress toward the person we want to become. We're working hard, but it doesn't seem like anything is moving forward. And then the guilt sets in. Why can't I just get it together? Why is it so hard to improve? But here's the thing. What if I told you that the key to self-improvement isn't buried in some complicated or impossible routine? What if I told you that the simplest way to unlock the highest version of yourself was easier than you think? That all it takes is a few shifts, a few simple practices, and a deep commitment to the process? What if your next level of growth wasn't some massive leap, but a few small steps, taken consistently? You see, self-improvement doesn't have to be an overwhelming mountain to climb. In fact, it's the small, simple, daily routines that accumulate into big transformation over time. As the famous quote by Aristotle says, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. That's right. Self-improvement is about cultivating simple, daily habits that compound over time. It's not about waiting for that perfect moment or waiting for the stars to align. It's about taking action in the smallest, most meaningful ways. And today, I'm going to share with you the simplest self-improvement routine that's guaranteed to unlock your highest potential. I've worked with people from all walks of life, whether they're students, CEOs, parents, or entrepreneurs, and I can tell you this: the process I'm about to share with you works for everyone. Whether you're looking to boost your self-confidence, develop a positive mindset, or achieve a new goal, this routine will give you the clarity and structure to do just that. So, are you ready to transform your life? Ready to make the shift? Because trust me, the simplest self-improvement routine is not just going to change your day, it will change your life. So let's start with the most crucial ingredient of this simple self-improvement routine. The first step, the foundation, the bedrock of all growth: consistency. You probably heard this word a lot before, right? But here's the truth. Most of us fail to fully understand just how powerful consistency is. We often think of it as doing something over and over again, but it's much more than that. Consistency is the secret weapon that turns small actions into massive transformations over time. The smallest step, repeated consistently, is what creates success. Imagine this. Every time you make your bed in the morning, it might feel like an insignificant task. But you know what it does? It sets the tone for your day. It's the first victory. And that victory gives you momentum. It's not about how big or flashy the task is. It's about how often you show up and make that small, positive choice. That's consistency at work. It's the same with any goal, whether you're looking to build a healthier body, grow a business, or simply feel better about yourself. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up every day, doing what you can, and trusting the process. I remember talking to a client who was struggling with getting started on a new fitness plan. She was frustrated because she couldn't find time for the intense hour-long workouts she thought she needed. But when I asked her to start with something small, just a 10-minute walk every morning, she was skeptical. "How is that going to make a difference?" she asked. And I said, "Start small and let consistency work its magic." Fast forward 3 months, and that 10-minute walk turned into 30 minutes. Her energy was through the roof. She started waking up early, feeling proud of herself, and setting the tone for her day with that small victory. Consistency had turned that tiny habit into a powerful force that changed her entire life. Here's the thing. It's not the big, one-time efforts that create real transformation. It's the daily, seemingly insignificant actions that compound over time. And this is the part where many people fall off track. We get caught up in the idea that we need to see instant results, that if we don't see dramatic changes right away, the effort isn't worth it. But that's a trap. Let me tell you this. Patience is a key ingredient in this self-improvement routine. The greatest transformations happen when you trust that the small actions you're taking today will pay off tomorrow, and next week, and next month, and next year. The person you want to become, the life you want to live, isn't built in a day. It's built in 1,000 small moments, each of which is an opportunity to reinforce your commitment to growth. Here's a quick thought experiment. Think about the person you admire most in your life, the one who seems to have it all together. Now, imagine that person had no shortcuts, no magic tricks, and no overnight successes. They simply committed to the same small actions every single day. They made it a habit to do what needed to be done, even when it wasn't exciting, even when they didn't feel like it. They showed up consistently. And here's the kicker. You're no different. You have the same ability to change. You have the same potential to rise up and become the best version of yourself, but it starts with making those small, consistent choices. So, let's break this down. What's one thing you can commit to doing daily, no matter how small it is? Maybe it's setting aside just 5 minutes each morning to write down what you're grateful for. Maybe it's spending 10 minutes learning something new. Or maybe it's simply taking a few moments to breathe deeply and set a positive intention for the day. Whatever it is, commit to showing up for yourself every day. The more you do it, the more it will become second nature, and before you know it, that tiny habit will grow into something that changes your life. Consistency isn't about perfection, it's about making progress, no matter how small, every single day. And this is the key to unlocking your highest potential, one small, consistent step at a time. All right, now that we've talked about consistency and how powerful those small daily actions can be, let's move to the next vital piece of this self-improvement puzzle, mindset. And trust me, mindset is everything. You see, everything starts with how you think about yourself and the world around you. Your mindset shapes your actions, your habits, and your results. If your mindset is built on self-doubt, fear, or negative beliefs, no matter how many self-improvement routines you try, you'll always hit a wall. But if you shift your mindset to one that embraces growth, resilience, and possibility, that's when you'll truly start to see transformation. But here's the key. Mindset isn't something you're born with. It's something you can develop, strengthen, and change over time, just like any muscle. And yes, that means you have the power to shift your mindset today. Let's take a moment to reflect. Do you ever find yourself thinking thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or I'll never be able to do that? Those thoughts may feel real in the moment, but they don't have to define you. What if I told you that those thoughts aren't facts? What if they're just old stories you've been telling yourself, and you have the ability to rewrite them? The famous psychologist Carol Dweck, who's known for her research on mindset, coined the terms fixed mindset and growth mindset. A fixed mindset believes that your abilities and intelligence are static, that you either have the skills, talent, or potential, or you don't. But a growth mindset, on the other hand, is based on the belief that you can develop your abilities through effort, learning, and persistence. Let me ask you, where do you think you fall? Are you embracing a growth mindset, or are you limiting yourself with beliefs that hold you back? One of the most powerful things you can do on your self-improvement journey is shift to a growth mindset. And that shift doesn't have to happen overnight. It can start with the smallest change in how you talk to yourself. It can start with embracing the idea that failure isn't something to avoid, it's something to learn from. It's about seeing challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to grow and get better. I remember a conversation I had with a student of mine a few years ago. She was struggling with a particular course that she thought she'd never pass. She felt defeated. But after a few conversations, she started to embrace the idea that failing wasn't the end, it was a learning opportunity. She said, I'm not failing, I'm learning. And you know what? With that mindset shift, her grades skyrocketed. She didn't just pass the course, she aced it. That's the power of mindset. When you truly believe you can grow, you can face any obstacle and push through. But you have to believe. You have to choose to believe that your potential is unlimited. And if you can do that, if you can commit to looking at every setback as a stepping stone instead of a roadblock, you will unlock your highest potential. Now, I'm not saying this is easy. We all have moments where doubt creeps in, where the voice of self-doubt gets louder than our inner cheerleader. But here's the truth. You get to decide which voice you listen to. It's about practicing positive self-talk, especially when things get tough. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough for this, start saying, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm capable of more than I realize. Let me give you a quick technique that can help you shift your mindset. It's called reframing. Whenever you find yourself thinking negatively, stop, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, is this thought helping me? Is this thought true? Then try to reframe that thought into something more empowering. For example, instead of thinking, I can't do this, try reframing it to, this is challenging, but I'm capable of figuring it out. Or, I might not have all the answers right now, but I'll learn and improve. Start practicing reframing your thoughts, and over time, you'll notice your mindset shifting from fixed to growth. This small shift, compounded over time, can change everything about the way you approach your goals. And guess what? You can start right now. In fact, why not take a moment to think about one area of your life where you've been holding yourself back? Maybe it's a career goal, a personal challenge, or something that's been on your mind for a while. Now, ask yourself, what would happen if you approached this with a growth mindset? What would happen if you stopped seeing it as a problem and started seeing it as an opportunity to learn and grow? This is the power of mindset. It's not just about thinking positively. It's about truly believing that no matter where you are today, you have the power to grow, evolve, and become the person you're meant to be. Before we move on to the next part, I just want to remind you to take a moment and like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps this channel thrive, and together we can keep unlocking the potential of even more people who are looking to make a change in their lives. So, hit that subscribe button and join this amazing journey towards self-improvement. All right, we've laid the foundation. We've talked about consistency and how the small daily habits can create massive change. We've also explored mindset and how the beliefs you hold about yourself can either limit you or propel you toward your highest potential. Now, it's time to talk about the final piece of the self-improvement puzzle, the most crucial part of the process, taking action. Now, this might sound simple, but it's the part where most people fall short. They get inspired, they make plans, they learn new techniques, but when it comes to actually taking action, they freeze. They let fear, doubt, or procrastination hold them back. But here's the truth. Without action, nothing happens. You can have the best intentions, the most positive mindset, and the most consistent habits. But if you're not taking action, you're not going anywhere. I know. Taking action can feel daunting. It can feel overwhelming, especially when you're trying to make big changes in your life. But here's the beauty of it. You don't need to take massive action all at once. Small steps are more than enough. The key is to just begin. I want you to think about something for a moment. Have you ever tried to make a change in your life and gotten stuck because you felt like you had to do everything perfectly from the start, like you needed to have it all figured out or the first step had to be flawless? I've been there, and I know you've probably felt the same. The truth is, perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. Taking action is about starting where you are, with what you have, and taking the first step. It's about trusting yourself to take imperfect, messy action and knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward your growth. For example, maybe you've been wanting to write a book, but you're intimidated by the thought of writing hundreds of pages. That's a huge goal. But you know what? You don't have to write the entire book today. What if you just wrote one paragraph? What if you committed to writing just 100 words a day? When you take that first small step, something amazing happens. You begin to build momentum. You start to see that it's possible. I remember working with a client who had been putting off starting a new business because they were afraid of failing. But after we worked together, they realized that the first step didn't have to be a big leap. It could just be registering the business name or making the first phone call. That was the breakthrough moment. Once they took that first small action, the rest fell into place. Momentum took over, and before they knew it, they were running their own successful business. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence, and confidence fuels more action. It's a beautiful cycle that leads to lasting transformation. Now, you might be thinking, but what if I fail? And here's the thing. Failure is part of the process. It's not something to fear, it's something to embrace. Every time you fail, you learn. Every time you fail, you grow. Every time you fail, you're one step closer to success. I'll say it again. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. There is no success without failure. The most successful people in the world have failed over and over again. But what they've learned is this: failure is not a sign to quit. It's a sign to keep going. Here's a powerful concept I want you to take with you today. The key to massive action is to make it inevitable. What do I mean by that? I mean, make the action you want to take so easy, so simple, that you can't avoid it. If you want to build a habit, start by making it a part of your daily routine in a way that's effortless. For example, if you want to start exercising every day, don't think about running a marathon tomorrow. Start with a 10-minute stretch. Just make it a non-negotiable part of your day. And then, over time, you'll increase your efforts, but you've already built that routine, that foundation. If you want to start reading more, don't set a goal to read 5 books a month. Start by reading just 10 pages a day. It's small, it's manageable, and over time, those 10 pages will add up to something incredible. By taking action every single day, no matter how small, you start building momentum. And when you build momentum, the results come naturally. The key is to keep going, even when it feels slow, even when the progress doesn't seem obvious. Because I promise you, it's happening. You have everything you need right now to start your journey. You don't need any more information. You don't need a perfect plan. You need to take action. The world is waiting for you to show up and start living the life you've always dreamed of. The only thing standing between you and your highest potential is the decision to take that first step. So here's my challenge to you. Right now, as soon as this video ends, take one small action that moves you closer to your goal. It could be something as simple as making a to-do list, sending that first email, or setting a reminder to meditate tomorrow. But whatever it is, take action. Remember, the most important thing is to just get started. Because once you do, you'll realize that you were always capable of so much more than you ever imagined. Before we wrap up, I want to thank you for being part of this journey. Your willingness to invest in yourself, to learn, and to grow is something truly special. And remember, if you found value in this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps this channel continue to grow, and together we can keep unlocking the potential of thousands of people who are ready for transformation. You have the power to change your life. And the best part? The journey starts today.